Hello, selected ones. What I'm going to tell you is not coincidental. This is a message intended for you, and it's something you should hear. It's no coincidence that you're seeing this right now. God has led you here because something significant is occurring in your life. When God speaks, even those who refuse to listen are finally faced with the voice of their own destruction. Divine forbearance does not last forever. It's not about being angry. It is about justice. Entire civilizations have been reduced to their knees, not because God was harsh, but because they ignored his warnings. Imagine this. Someone standing in judgment, cocky in their defiance, certain they have outwitted the creator of all things. But God is not blind. He observes like a parent watching their kid repeatedly misbehave, believing they're too smart to be caught. Except now, it's not about sending kids to their rooms. This time, it's far more serious. An illness that seems to be designed just for them. The opponents of the chosen ones are now learning this lesson the hard way. They laughed, rejected, and discarded all warnings. But God's patience has run out, and his kindness has been withheld. What is left for them is not random. It is purposeful, precise, and consistent with the activities they have taken. Before we go into this transforming message, I want you to do 3 things. Hit the like button, subscribe to help us achieve 10,000 subscribers, then leave a comment with the number 77. This number sends a strong signal to the cosmos, enhancing the strength of this message. And remember, if you really are a chosen one, you will remain with me to the conclusion of this video because your soul recognizes that this message is for you. If you are not prepared to accept this fact, you may not make it through. However, for those that do, their lives will never be the same. Now, let us come to the heart of this revolutionary revelation from the beginning of time. The selected ones have been involved in a holy scheme. Their lives are not accidents, and neither are their hardships meaningless. Every moment has been carefully scripted, even the destiny of those who resist them. Here's what many people don't grasp. God's patience is not limitless. It's intentional. Every warning, every moment of kindness given to their foes was part of a divine agreement. And now, the deal has reached its last clause. This did not happen overnight. God's quiet did not signify his absence. This was his plan. He offered the opponents of the selected ones every opportunity to modify their ways. But arrogance blinded them. They believed they were untouchable. That kindness might be abused indefinitely. What they failed to see is that divine kindness serves a purpose. It is both a lifeline and a test. And they failed. The judgment they now face is neither arbitrary or emotive. It is completely matched with the greater order of things. This disease, this retribution, is not just revenge. It is the inevitable result of their own revolt. They've reached the end of their path, and there's no space for compromise or excuses. The chosen ones are taking their proper position, while their foes are forced to face the repercussions of their own deeds. This illness is not random. It is not a coincidental illness. No, this is far deeper. It's a mirror that reflects every act of malice, dishonest phrase, and hurtful purpose back to its source. The seeds they sowed by their acts have matured into a harvest they cannot ignore. This disease has gripped them in ways they don't fathom. They are operating at levels they had not expected. Physical, mental, and spiritual. Their bodies betray them. Their brains are their deadliest adversaries. And their souls bear the consequences of their degradation. It's as if everything they depended on is falling. But it's not just about their health. This illness is like a heavenly message etched in their own suffering. Every symptom and struggle is exactly aligned with the devastation they did. Those who instill terror now experience paranoia. Those who caused suffering now experience it irreversibly. It is justice in its purest, most unwavering form. No amount of denial will protect them now. The illness compels them to face what they've been avoiding for so long, the implications of their decisions. And the more they struggle, the stronger its hold gets. The selected ones have sensed this transition coming for a long time. It began as a whisper, a silent knowledge in their souls. They prepared for it, even if it was difficult to see. Their opponents, meanwhile, saw it as invisible. They continued with their hubris, ignorant to the tempest brewing around them. The shift is no longer veiled. It has burst into the physical world, unmistakable and inexorable. The selected ones are entering a dazzling light that cannot be ignored. They've ascended to heights their foes never imagined imaginable. Meanwhile, the same enemies are disintegrating. They are proud and arrogant. It is all disintegrating. The falsehoods they uttered, the authority they possessed, are fading away, and the illness they now bear. It's not simply judgment. It's a spotlight that reveals people for who they really are. This is no coincidence. It is intentional. The whole world is watching, and many who questioned the selected ones are now realizing the truth. The opponents, on the other hand, are striving to retain authority that has already been taken away from them. For far too long, the adversaries of the chosen ones pretended that there were no repercussions. They interpreted God's stillness for indifference and his patience for weakness. They saw kindness as a promise, something they could abuse indefinitely. But they were mistaken. Grace was never the same as permission. It was an opportunity for change. They rejected every warning and committed every act of evil. They doubled down, brought them closer to the present time. The grace period is gone. God's patience has run out, and what remains is judgment. The benevolence they took for granted has been replaced with the full weight of responsibility. This is not about vengeance. It's all about balance. Every nasty phrase, every dishonest conduct, and every damaging aim is now being addressed. The myth of immunity has been destroyed. It is no longer possible to avoid the repercussions. This illness is not simply physical. It is spiritual. It is separating them from everything they formerly depended on, the power they previously had. They exploited their influence to manipulate others. It is all fading away. This is a spiritual quarantine ordered by God himself. The adversaries of the chosen ones thrived on turmoil, spreading their poison like a virus. However, they are now isolated. Their influence is dwindling, and their relationships are eroding. What is happening to them is not an accident. It's purposeful, and it's intended to limit the damage they've created. They can no longer manipulate or mislead. They are being divided, put aside, and made to bear the repercussions of their conduct. This is just the beginning of their doom. And for the selected ones, this is what they've been waiting for. People who formerly united behind their cause are starting to understand the lies, distancing themselves as if repulsed by the poison that characterizes their activities. This quarantine and isolation are not accidental. It is a conscious and heavenly act to protect the selected ones and others from further damage. God has established a line that they are unable to pass, limiting their capacity to mislead, deceive, or disseminate their malicious intent. Their remarks have lost their significance. Their plans are derailed before they even begin, and their efforts to restore control are greeted with utter failures. What distinguishes this isolation is its totality. On every level, they feel abandoned, misunderstood, and imprisoned. But this is not the world rejecting them. The divine hand is limiting them, ensuring that their evil influence does not expand unrestrained. The instruments they used to dominate and control now lay broken and ineffectual in their hands. This quarantine is more than just punishment. It's a shield of defense. It assures that the selected ones, as well as others around them, may heal, develop, and prosper free of disturbance. For the adversaries, it serves as a clear warning of what occurs when divine patience runs out. There are forces at work here that are invisible to the naked eye. The judgment that is descending on the adversaries of the chosen ones is not just the movement of God's hand. It is the coordinated operation of invisible forces, heavenly agents of justice who have patiently awaited this time. These angels, who have been quiet for so long, have watched the development of deceptive strongholds, oppressive instruments used against the innocent. Their moment to act has come. These angels do not make themselves known via great demonstrations or apparent indicators. Their art is subtle but devastatingly accurate. They destroy the enemy's systems and structures, focusing on the layers of deception, manipulation, and control that kept everything together. The seemingly unshakable underpinnings of lying are being pulled apart piece by piece, where there was previously solidity. They once stood tall, but today there is anarchy. Their positions are falling under their feet. This isn't just random devastation. It's heavenly plan carried out with immaculate accuracy. The angels know just where to strike. Allies who formerly stood beside the adversaries are now backing away, having unraveled decades of falsehoods and plots in a matter of minutes. Their resources are running gone, and their power is waning for no apparent reason. What they constructed with hubris is being demolished with a speed they did not foresee. The most alarming aspect for the opponents is their inability to combat this. These forces are beyond their control, impenetrable, and relentless. They can't manage or outwit something they don't see or control. All they know is that their world is crumbling, and no amount of earthly effort will stop it. This is divine justice in its purest form, executed with precision and intention. There is no escape. These hidden forces guarantee that foes face the full repercussions of their deeds, leaving no opportunity for excuses or escape. What's more astonishing is how widespread this divine justice has grown. It's not concealed or discreet. It's on full display and difficult to ignore. The enemy may have previously imagined they could act without repercussions. However, their judgment is now accessible to everyone. They can't disguise the disease that has gripped them. It's obvious, incontrovertible, and pushes everyone around them to face the reality, even those who were apathetic and turned a blind eye to their activities. Witness the reality of divine justice. This public reckoning does more than just reveal the opponents. It's a lesson for anybody watching. It's a harsh, unwavering reminder of what occurs when the divine will is disobeyed. The disease is more than simply a punishment. It is a testament to the dangers of hubris and disobedience. People can no longer claim ignorance or that the stakes aren't serious. The pain of the enemy is an obvious and inescapable manifestation of what occurs when spiritual justice penetrates the visible world. Those who were involved, complacent, or just oblivious cannot disregard this warning. Divine justice does not act in the shadows. It is public, irrefutable, and spares no one who refuses to face the fact. The transition in power has been nothing short of remarkable. The adversaries who formerly had complete control, controlled and dominated, are now weak. Everything they thought was unshakable has been turned upside down. The selected ones, who were formerly isolated and persecuted, now hold positions of responsibility that they never desired, but were always intended for the adversaries who attempted to destroy them. Now they must confront the individuals they once sought to suppress. However, this is not only about worldly power. The selected ones have been given spiritual power and influence much greater than anything the enemy ever had. They can now pray and intervene, and their petitions are more powerful than the opponents. The selected individuals are no longer victims. They are divine tools, capable of extending compassion or delivering justice. The enemy formerly controlled troops are now beyond their grasp, while the selected ones possess a position they could never have imagined. This reversal represents more than merely a shift in views. It represents a reconnection with divine purpose. The selected ones no longer need to battle for survival. All they have to do is align with God's will, and everything will fall into place. The opponents are now at their mercy, humiliated and exposed, recognizing how vulnerable their position was. But the most unsettling aspect of their decline isn't what's going on around them. It's what's going on within them. The illness has not just taken over their bodies. It has infiltrated their thoughts. Their thoughts, which were previously keen and confident, are now filled with dread, remorse, and self-blame. They are unable to escape the anguish of their own imaginations. Their internal voices, once a source of confidence and assurance, they have turned against themselves, exaggerating their greatest fears and regrets. This illness does not only break their bodies, it dismantles their spirit. They are caught in a continuous cycle of uncertainty and misery, unable to find respite. The brains they formerly depended on to mold and control are now their fiercest foes. Every idea reminds them of their misdeeds. Every moment brings a confrontation with the repercussions of their actions. This inner unraveling is an essential component of divine judgment. It guarantees that the punishment is not only external, it is very personal, penetrating to the heart of who they are. There is no way to get away from it, to dull the anguish or hush the whispers. For some, this decision will be the end. Not everyone will escape this reckoning. God's patience has run out. For those who cross the line, there is no going back. Some repercussions are irreversible. Irreversible. The message is plain. This is neither a warning nor a test. It is the conclusion of their disobedience. When judgment is given, some will collapse beneath its weight. This is not a trial that offers second chances. It's a call to justice, a moment of truth that spares no one who is disregarded. Divine will. The implications here are inescapable and unstoppable. If this speaks to your spirit, write 77 in the comments section below and announce you're ready. Here is your opportunity to demonstrate your strength not just to yourself, but to the world. The weight of options can no longer be ignored or swept away. Every deed, goal, and strategy has brought us to this moment. The foes who previously thought they could outsmart the divine order are now entangled in the same webs they created. There is no escape, no loophole, and no second chances for individuals who have steadfastly refused to change. Their illness is not the result of an accident. It represents the pinnacle of their rebellion. It is the outward embodiment of their spiritual degeneration, a mirror reflecting the darkness they have cultivated in their souls. The disease destroys all illusions. No amount of money, power, or influence can protect them anymore. Those who felt they were untouchable are brought low, their secrets exposed, and their connections dissolved. They have no option but to confront the reality, even if it divides them. The selected ones, however, remain unshaken. Their experiences have shaped them into strong vessels, testing and proving their faith. What was once a source of scorn is now their most valuable asset. The world can no longer reject their fortitude or the blessings bestowed upon their life. As the adversaries fail, the selected ones rise, not arrogantly, but with the grace and wisdom bestowed upon them by their trials. Their success demonstrates what occurs when one remains faithful in the face of unrelenting hardship. It is a metamorphosis that cannot be concealed or minimized. The selected ones now carry out their mission with authority that compels respect, not by coercion, but through the unmistakable strength of their witness. The illness also has another function. It shows the actual character of people who formerly surrounded the chosen ones. The secret facilitators, quiet supporters, and opportunists who flourished in the shadows can no longer be kept hidden. Every coalition based on lies and deception is disintegrating. The light of truth reveals their contributions, no matter how little or apparently inconsequential. They can no longer utilize excuses or anonymity to protect those who have been exposed. The revelation was terrible. They realized the consequences of their conduct. They damaged lives and contributed to turmoil. Some may attempt to deny their participation, but the proof is clear. This is the divine plan at work, ensuring that every strand of deception is exposed. The selected ones watch as those who earlier derided or underestimated them face consequences. It's not about vengeance. It's about justice. However, even in this reckoning, there is a glimmer of hope for those determined to change. Redemption is not simple nor granted carelessly. It takes complete honesty, a willingness to acknowledge the harm done, and a heart eager to make apologies. This is not a route for the faint of heart. It requires humility and the fortitude to confront not just others, but also oneself. To those who take this step, the trip will be long and difficult, but it offers the promise of repair. True redemption does not eliminate the past. It changes it. The scars serve as a reminder of the lessons learned and the price paid by those who really repent. The route ahead is not about personal gain, but about reestablishing trust. Heal wounds and live with honesty. Few will choose this route, but for those who do, it's an opportunity to change their narrative. Meanwhile, the selected ones continue to advance. Their power is not just for their own advantage, but for a larger good. They are taking on positions of leadership and influence not out of desire, but because they feel compelled to make a difference. Their experiences have given them the empathy, insight, and resolve necessary to oppose the structures that previously enslaved them. Their height is neither peaceful nor disguised. It is a public demonstration of the power of patience and faith. The same individuals who formerly questioned them are now amazed and, in some instances, regretful of their success. The selected ones demonstrate that divine timing cannot be hastened or disrupted. They waited, suffered, and believed, and today they enjoy the benefits of their loyalty. For the enemy, the illness is more than a punishment. It reflects their inner anguish. The very mechanisms on which they depended are collapsing. Their allies are turning on them. Their secrets are revealed, and their own bodies betray them. It is a total unraveling, leaving them with nothing to hold on to. Some will fight till the end. They will cling to their pride, refusing to admit the truth and dismissing the repercussions of their actions even when they confront them. But for others, this reckoning will serve as a wake-up call. They will see the futility of their methods and the potential for change. The decision remains between continuing down the road of destruction and embracing the difficult but essential process of redemption. The door is still open for those who are prepared to humble themselves, but it will not be open indefinitely. The time for hollow words and half-hearted gestures is past. Now is the moment to take action and achieve actual change. The selected ones do not gloat or enjoy the agony of others. Their attention is not on the defeat of their adversaries, but on the accomplishment of their mission. They recognize that their success is for the larger good, not just their own. They are asked to be role models for integrity-driven leadership and to bring light to a world in critical need. Finally, this is more than just a narrative about judgment. It demonstrates the force of divine justice. It serves as a reminder that no one is immune to the repercussions of their actions or the opportunity for forgiveness. The chosen one's stance is live evidence that faith and persistence are never in vain. Their adversaries, once so certain in their plans, now serve as cautionary tales of what occurs when one rejects divine command. The equilibrium has been restored, and the planet will be forever transformed. The selected ones are going into their destiny, while their adversaries suffer the consequences of their decisions. This isn't the end. It is a fresh beginning, an opportunity for healing, change, and the repair of what has been damaged. The question persists: who will grasp the chance, and who will be left behind? Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and say farewell.